And here we go. These first two worlds are not exactly going to be anything to write home about. They're developer-intended warps in these first two worlds, so they're going to fly by. You should see them done with these first two worlds within 6-7 minutes. So, going to be a lot of team throwing to get to these warp barrels in these first two worlds. You can see both of our runners doing a lot of rolling. Rolling is faster than walking or running, but you do have to be able to cancel those rolls with a jump, or else you lose a lot of momentum. Going to the second level, again, not much crazy going on yet. Just a lot of movement optimization, and not having to go back is going to be what's going to make or lose time compared to your opponent here. Just really clean movement from these guys is going to be the key. Also worth noting that Cal does have is playing with the French text on. That saves a little bit of time in menuing, just from a little bit quicker mashing, but ultimately shouldn't be that big of a factor. Yes, and then cause Raikou Rider is primarily a 103 runner, but he in his last race, I believe he played his first race last night of this tournament. He didn't go into any bonuses except for one that was semi-intentional. And we'll see if he does that same trick again. Doesn't save him time, but it looks amazing. So both of our runners pretty much exactly in the same point, heading towards the end of the first world and the first boss, Belcha. This could be a point of separation if one of our runners fails to make the cycle. You get barrels, you break them open, get the beetle, throw them in Belcha's teeth, and if you get the first two in, you're good. If you miss one of the first two, then you're going to have to do at least two more. Raikou's got it down, Cal has it down. Very nice two cycle from both these guys, very clean. And we have World 1 finishes in the 301-302 range, about average. So heading on to the second world, Crimwood Forest, there are still more of these developer-intended warps, so these levels are going to fly by. You're not going to see most of them. It is interesting that some of these developer-intended warps are used in the 103% category. Not this level, but two levels in this world, and the last level in World 1. As Raikou Rider manages to dodge a bear coin going into that warp, as does Cal. Very nicely done. A Riverside Race. As someone who has been playing this game casually pretty much my entire video gaming life, getting this warp barrel is a lot trickier than these guys make it look, and done very effortlessly. Rolling through those rats is what gives you the time to do that team throw. And of course, leads really don't mean that much here. Raikou might be like 5-6 seconds ahead. Cal might end up gaining a second or two. Leads like this are not going to have much bearing until we get into the part of the game where you actually have to play the game. And a little bit of a map confusion on the Raikou Rider. Must have misclicked one of his D-pad controllers. It happens. And last warp getting around that bird. Again, a tougher throw than these guys make it look. As both our runners coming up to the second boss, this is another potential point of separation. Very interesting that Cal did a switch here. Raikou's going to do a strat where he's going to line this up and he's going to try to use Kitty to hit Eric with these barrels from below. Cal opting for this. He may be going with these strats just as the game intends you to do them. Raikou has this really quick kill set up, and he's executing it very, very well. He's gonna pick up some nice time here as Cal is making his way through. This is how you're supposed to do it, but it's slow. That said, it is a very safe way to do it, and if you lose Kitty, you do have to know how to make that. So very good job by Cal, not losing that much time, all things considered. So a 624 hovercraft for Raikou Rider is going to be heading up the next two worlds. Mechanos, in the player's guide and the instruction manual, this is a level 4, but this is always done third in every speedrunning category. Only 16 seconds ahead. This is definitely a lead that could shrink or completely disappear if things go wrong. So tight play is still going to be very, very important. There's Fireball Frenzy, a very technical platforming stage. Just have to constantly dodge these fireballs in the cheese factory. One of the great little pieces of donkey science that the Claude has put together for this stage and pretty much the entire game, just analyzing the game and knowing so much of how it works. Those fireballs are active for 8 frames once they hit the ground. So on frame 9, you can go right through them. If you're that good with your timing, you can really do some crazy moves, although there's going to be a pretty neat damage boost coming up at the end of this level. Raikou Rider getting in position. He's going to take a hit off this fireball, go right up to the rope, save about 4 or 5 seconds. Cal is making his way towards that same damage boost. Raikou Rider gets through. Ooh, Cal taking a hit. He's not going to be able to do that D-boost now, so he's going to have to go the long way around. Not a huge time loss, but not one you want to take, as Raikou Rider heads into our first auto-scroller of the level. First auto-scroll level of the game. In general, you want to be in the air instead of on an upward slope, and you want to be on a downward slope instead of in the air. That determines a lot of the jumping, when you jump and where you jump. And Cal with some swag, having Kitty outside of the cart. That's a new one. I have not seen that one before. I'm gonna have to ask him about that one. Very cool glitch. Unfortunately takes a hit, but should still be in good shape. It's a DK barrel. Raikou Rider switching over to Kitty, so he is going to be doing this trick in this next level. As Rare decided to follow up the horizontal auto-scroller with a vertical auto-scroller. Right then. Can't attest to the design, but it looks like Raikou is going to be setting up another very, very amusing glitch. Should be coming up right about here. And very nicely done. That, for those unfamiliar, that's a zip. He basically gets the game to think that he is in the wall, which launches him up, I believe it's 8 pixels per frame, and it lets him just soar upwards through this vertical side scroller into that bonus barrel that he then fails out of to get through. It does, however, cost 1 second RTA compared to the vanilla route, so the actual world record attempts would not go for that. But it looks cool. As Raikou and Cal making their way through Ripsaw Rage, doing their best as they can to avoid these rats. One of the really nice things about this game, every time you kill one of these rats, it does generate about 2 frames of lag, so you save the frames by saving the animals. Just further proof that DKC3 is objectively the best. Sometimes you just can't avoid killing the rats. They're either in bad positions or bad spawns. Raikou is... Oh, yeah, Raikou almost went into that other bonus that realized, wait, this isn't 103%. So a good save there. I will freely admit that I did an any percent run earlier today. The time was terrible, and I made the exact same mistake he almost did. But he's through. Cal not too far behind, so we go into Blazing Bazookas. Blazing Bazookas is one of the first levels that is going to have one Kong sacrificed right at the beginning of the level for purposes of lag reduction. I believe it's this one, 4-3 and 5-5 that have this sacrifice a Kong and do it with one Kong. This is, however, pretty risky because the Star Barrel is so far out of the way that you die here, you're going all the way back to the beginning level, and that will take a lot of time. And because that is exactly correct, it does take, I want to say, 27 extra frames for the second Kong to get into each auto-fire barrel. So definitely some significant time save, the more barrels you can go in with just one Kong, but at the same time, Raikou playing it safe on some of these, especially the back half. There is something to be said for consistency and safety in a race format where you can't just reset every time something goes wrong, as we're off to Logi Labyrinth. One of the things that people notice really quick about this game is there are a lot of gimmicks that are only used for 1 or maybe 2 stages. It does mean that almost every person, no matter who they are or what kind of things they like, will find 1 or 2 gimmicks they really like, but they're also probably going to find a couple gimmicks they really don't like. This is definitely one of the ones that I rather dislike, but to each their own. This Cal makes his way through Bazookas. About a half stage behind, but with this boss, it can all change. So Raikou taking Qualks the Parrot through this labyrinth. Trying to get a little squeeze in between these two bees up there. Very nicely done. Gonna do the same thing with the... Ooh, he was thinking about it, and he's actually going to take the bonus barrel. At this point, he was a bit committed, so he's probably just going to take an intentional hit on this first bee. I'm not sure if that saves time. In fact, I'm pretty sure that costs him a little bit, but does mean he doesn't have to do one of those really annoying clips later on. And he has both Kongs for the rest of this stage, again, just for safety, as Cal making his way with Qualks the Purple Parrot. And anyone who has not seen the DKC3 speedrun before, get ready for some really cool stuff. This is Chaos, and this is the reason why you would want to run on the US version. Raikou is going to try to skip several of these cycles using a series of infinite team throws, as Cal making his way, trying to get this clip. Ooh, just misses the clip on those red bees, but he should still be able to finish the level without any trouble. As Raikou here gets a hit, does some team throwing to stay in the air, gets another hit, gets 3 hits there, and 3 hits on a single team throw chain is pretty decent. Let's see if he can get a 2-cycle, 3 and 3. These, as Cal gets a very nice finish through Logi, but Raikou only able to get, look like 1 hit on Tin Can that second cycle. Oh, no, must have been 2 hits to get the 4 lasers, so this will be 1 last hit. If he can get himself up there off of the... Yeah, there it is. So Raikou Rider with the 3-cycle. Let's see how Cal does with this. Got the team throw set up. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. Can he keep it up? This transition is very hard. Ooh, drops it. Oh, and then loses Kitty. That's going to be a little unfortunate for Cal, but still, 3 hit starts for Chaos on both of them. I'm usually lucky to get a 4-cycle on that. It is incredibly tight, the timing for those team throws, so very well done to both of them for getting those hits in as they did. Raikou Rider onto Baza Blockade, first underwater level. All but one of the underwater levels are in this world, so if you don't like them, once you're done here, you're done. One cycle on Chaos is very hard. It is doable RTA. There's a few people who have done it. I mean, I know I'd never be able to do it, but then again, I'm terrible at this game. Raikou making his way through these Bazas. So much of every button press gets magnified with these water physics, so it's very easy to gain or lose a ton of time just by really, really subtle movements. And some of these squeezes that Raikou is going to be doing, especially near the end of this level, I believe, or he may have already gotten through them. You actually, yes, he did. You actually clip into the walls a bit to make some of these tight turns. It's, again, really technical, and if you do even slightly wrong, you're going to be taking hits. But he's into Tracker Barrel Track. This is another vertical movement stage, so you're going to have a lot of team throws here. And Cal taking a rather unfortunate hit, trying to sneak his way through to the other side of that. So taking Continue Barrel, a little slower, but definitely safer. I can't disagree with that, as Raikou making his way through Tracker Barrel. It is worth noting, neither of our runners has taken the death yet. Raikou's lead is only because of really better movement. It's not because anything bad that Cal has done. Raikou doing another damage boost to make his way up here. Getting that DK barrel is very important because he plans to get rid of Kitty fairly shortly. Right there, in fact. And he will use that. This gives him 1 Kong very conveniently for the next level, which is another level that you only want 1 Kong for the purpose of lag reduction. And this is another one of those levels that a really good runner can just make this look effortless. And a really bad runner is going to just wonder, okay, what are you doing that makes this look so good? And there's a lot of really subtle little movements that Raikou's doing, and it's really hard to pick up, especially in real time, how much he is saving over someone who might not have all that muscle memory down. It's very impressive to see just flying through this stage. Cal still making quite a run of it. He's hitting the tricks that he really needs to be hitting. He's not making any real mistakes, and he's still in this. One death puts him right back in it. Going on the Tracker Barrel track now. It's another vertical movement stage, but this doesn't have necessarily as many tricks and skips that you can do, as Cal's making his way through, and he'll be going on to Crevice Creepers with Solo Dixie as well. And because the barrels are moving laterally, not as much in the way of skips you can do as compared to either of the other two waterfall levels, unfortunately. A little bit unfortunate with that B cycle there, Raikou was. And in 103%, you would actually use a very interesting trick with Ellie to duck under those bees, but we only use the elephant for literally one part of one level here in any percent. It's not Rambi, and that's why we don't really care that much. But Raikou Rider finishing this up, he's got about a full level lead as Cal finishes Crevice Creepers. Very well, might I add. Like, that was pretty much textbook work by both of them, as Raikou goes into the level we affectionately call Feed Your Fish. So Nibla needs to be fed, but Nibla is also picky, and he only wants to eat those soft clownfish, not the spiny boys. If you feed him those spiny fish, he will get angry and he will take it out on you. However, because of his, let's be generous and call it erratic movement, it's a lot harder than it may look. So a lot of this level relies on timing, knowing how long you can go between feeding your fish, knowing how to potentially have backup strats in case you need to do extra feedings in weird times, and just generally all of the other weirdness that goes along with water stages. Really not a fun level for the casual player. And Cal doing a very good job with Cracker Barrel as well. And Raikou is out of fish food. Cal, interesting, passing up on that DK barrel. That may have been for lag reduction, and if so, we'll see if he picks up time with it. But here we go with Squirt, the quote-unquote resident sleeper boss of this game. Not a lot to it, just poke his eyes out and you'll get what you need. And Cal doing a good job of managing Nibla there. Raikou with the second cycle on Squirt down. Yes, that's really it. Don't poke his eyes out and don't fall down to the bottom of the stage. And Raikou with the optimal ski grab, very nicely done. Getting that ski on, I believe, the very first frame it becomes tangible to make his way through. And Cal is about done with fish food. Just gonna make a mad dash through the rest of it. Hi, Goldug. Nice to see that you showed up. And Raikou has the Turbo Ski heading over to World 5. Cal still has the boss to beat, but again, this is not a tough boss. So I don't think he'll have any troubles with it. So Crevice Creepers, this is definitely a level where Dixie shines. I believe she takes 2 frames of wind-up for grabbing onto ropes compared to, I believe, 8 for Kitty. So definitely you want her in the lead for as long as you can. And she just flies across these ropes. It's really impressive. Yeah, Fireball is correct. The GBA port definitely made Squirt a more interesting boss, although interesting is, as Cal falls into the pit after collecting the ski, he is going to get credit for it, but he's going to waste a bit more time. That is not the way you want to grab that. Raikou heading into Tearaway Toboggan, another horizontal side auto-scroller. King Ness, we are allowed to talk about race progress in chat. Because this is not a randomizer or anything like that, both of our runners know more or less what the other is up to, and there's not really a need for spoilers like there would be in a randomizer. Cal having a little bit of boat steering trouble. Happens to everyone, let's be honest. This is just really textbook movement by Rai. He's opened up about a stage and a half lead here. But Cal doing a very good job just screaming up these ropes as Raikou makes his way through Tearaway. And onto the last waterfall level of the game, Barrel Drop Bounce. If you thought that the team throws in Rocket Barrel Ride were something, you ain't seen nothing yet. Let's put it this way. I think that's a really easy skip, but Raikou Rider will shortly be setting up for the Barrel Drop Bounce skip or BDB skip. Probably the hardest trick you have to do in any percent. I believe it. If you do this right, it saves 15-20 seconds. You cut out about a quarter of the level. Let's watch as he does this team throw, get up on a barrel, and that is textbook. That is so much harder than he makes it look. And take it from someone who spent about 5 minutes trying to do that this afternoon. But very well done by him. Cal going through Toboggan. Jumps over that knack as Raikou is into Crackshot Croc, or Webwoods Jr., as some may call it. It is somewhat similar to Webwoods in that you have to run with Shoots the Spider the entire time, but at the same time, well, you have solid platforms to stand on most of the time, so it's not that bad. Ooh, and Cal, that is a very unfortunate death. just from the position. I'm not sure there was anything he really could have done to save himself from that once that first hit came. That toboggan sometimes has a mind of its own. Raikou taking very good advantage of the fact that in between the vats of pink goo does not damage you, as long as you stand perfectly in the middle of them. And there Cal is through Tearaway, so good on him for getting through that. And gets a web shot off as he fires the flag. Got about a 2-stage lead now as we go into Lemwins. This is another level where you want to kill off Kitty for the purposes of lag reduction. And it does make this level a lot harder, though. And would not be surprised to see Raikou pick up a Kong near the end just for a little bit of insurance. This Cal making his way towards a BDB skip. Let's see if he can get it first try. This is a really hard trick. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And sometimes you just have to get the setup right. It's a team throw. Gets it. And good recovery, so he's still in the trick. Gonna do one more throw, and yep, he's got it. That's a very... It's not the cleanest BDB skip, but it's definitely a good one. Very nice. As Raikou, in the last section of Lemwin Lunge, he has about a 2-stage lead right now, Dark Berthos. As we head into Bleak's house, this boss is the reason that any percent is normally played on the Japanese version. There is a trick here that lets you basically completely skip this boss fight. I'm not 100% sure of the specifics, but it involves you taking a death and then pausing while the game is fading out. I'm not sure exactly how it makes the game work, but it makes the game think that you've already completed the whole thing, so you just go on to the next part. So now Bleak throws all these snowballs that work exactly like fireballs, suspiciously enough. And oh, what a snipe from long distance. That was good on Raikou Riders. He heads into the final phase of the Bleak fight. Where those snowballs will come out is fixed, so you just have to memorize the pattern. It's honestly not that hard once you get the hang of it, and Raikou at 3310 is through World 5. Very good clip he's got going on. As we go on to Buzzer Barrage here, let's just say this level was very, very, very well tested by the devs. And if you think there's sarcasm in my voice, that's because there is. So normally you need to carry these barrels to kill these bees, but that's slow. Let's just go around them. Cal is done with Crackshot. He's headed into the Lemwin Lunge here. And this is when he's really going to start clipping into a lot of these walls to get through these bees. Get through that wall. Cal making his way through Lemwin, doing a pretty good job of it. Raikou clips through a bee, takes a hit, doesn't care, clip through the bee, get a barrel. Yeah. Some more clips, damage boost because there's a DK barrel right here. And Cal going through this Lemwin Lunge, he is making up a little bit of time here. just very cleanly going through. Raikou also very clean through Buzzer Barrage. He's going to take the DK barrel for safety here, and you can see how much lag that's causing. But he's through it, and a Raikou Rider is now headed towards Confuse Clips. So, Raikou Rider, time for the Burn Your Rope update. How's it going? Cal getting a little bit unlucky with those long-distance shots, but gets through the first two phases. Oh, gee, yeah. 3 minutes, 20 seconds ahead. Yeah, I can imagine nerves might be setting in a bit. So, another vertical auto-scroller, but not much you can do to speed this one up. Hence the Burn Your Rope update to give our runners something to do during this time. Cal getting his 4th hit on Bleak. And despite being about 2 stages behind almost, Cal is still very much in this race. All it would take is one death from Raikou Rider, and they're almost right even again. Thankfully, GTO, we do not need to do the rocket ship level in this category. Raikou also showing off some of the hidden barrels that gave you some of the bear coins that you pick up for the 103% route. And Tomo, I definitely agree, this music is really good. Especially this track, Rock Face Rumble. Cal making his way through, halfway through Buzzer Barrage. More clipping inbound. As Raikou has finished the Burn Your Rope update, and he'll be heading on to Floodlit Fish. The waterfall music is good. It's the one thing I really don't like is the waterfall music's the only track in the OST, or the only track in the game that isn't in the OST that I've found. So you have to find that separately, it feels like. So Floodlit Fish, it's really dark, but you have On Guard, and On Guard basically gets through, well, almost any enemy he can touch. Cal taking a few of these bees that he might have otherwise been able to clip through. Might want to help him out a bit after this. Still getting his way through it, but definitely could save a bit of time. Really like to see if I can help him with that later. This Raikou just blazing through Floodlit Fish. I believe Raikou actually helped set up a consistent strat for getting the second bonus barrel. Let's see if he ends up in it. But now, Cal in the Burn Your Rope stage. See if we are going to get a Burn Your Rope update from him. Not sure what Raikou was trying there. Maybe a switch to Kitty for what's coming up? We're on to Pothole Panic, aka Animal Antics, the movie, the game. Yes, you have all 4 animal buddies in this game here. Cal unfortunately gets clipped off the screen by the rope. He's going to have to try that one again. And Raikou going to skip Ellie entirely, does not need the elephant for this section. Really, the only reason you would need it is for the dismount at the end of that barrel, and a team throw works just that way. And on to Ropey Rumpus. This has another really cool damage boost that cuts out a pretty nice portion of the level. Not as much as, say, BB Skip does, but it's still significant. And again, you have Raikou just flying up these ropes. Here's the damage boost, and ooh! Hit the wrong B. He's gonna have to go the long way around. Unfortunate. Yes, if he had gotten that trick, he would have been about right here with that damage boost, so cost him a couple seconds. And now, Raikou, on to the boss of World 6, Barbo's Barrier. This boss is really tough. I believe the player's guide calls it the hardest in the game. There are 3 phases to it. Each one has a little bit of geometry to it, a little bit of physics, and of course you've got those spiny things. So next we have these. Raikou's going to go for a strat going to take a damage boost to get rid of one of those barriers. Going to have to get rid of the other one the normal way. Ooh, a miss. The Cal is through confused cliffs. Now there is a sweet spot where you can get your 3 hits on Barbo's very quickly. It looks like Raikou's found it. Very nicely done for him. As Cal is making his way through Floodlit Fish. It can be a bit labyrinthine of a maze, but honestly, as long as you have On Guard and you keep mashing Y, you're likely to get through it without too much trouble. The Raikou Rider at 43-40 or so, going on to the last world of the game. Conveyor Rope Clash, this probably has the hardest to avoid bonus barrel in the game. It just falls into your natural routing of where they place this, which is really good because you can't really see it otherwise. So these conveyor belt ropes move for you, and very good skip on that first bonus barrel. That's actually the easier one to dodge. Let's see if he's able to skip both. Meanwhile, Cal making his way pretty cleanly through Floodlit Fish. Does have to be a little bit careful, but he's getting through it. And a very nice dodge on that second bonus barrel. So Cal will be heading the pothole. Raikou is heading into what we in the business like to call RNG caverns. These ghost barrels will move around at entirely predictable intervals at entirely unpredictable angles. And sometimes they do that. This is one of those levels that the speedrun just detests because you could lose 10-20 seconds through nothing that you can do. Taking a sec to make sure it doesn't hit that barrel there. As Raikou halfway through RNG Caverns. Skipping the squitter portion, which would be required to get up to the second bonus barrel, but not required to beat it. You can actually just do the second bonus barrel as Dixie. Honestly, that trick at least is free. And Raikou with some pause strats to see if he can get a better barrel. He does, and he's through. Cal is through potholes, so he's on the Barbos. Or no, he's on the Ropey Rumpus, so about a 3 to 4 stage lead here, but Raikou has a Lightning Lookout to go, and Lookout is definitely the operative word. This stage is painful. Callus, yes, that is correct. Because they randomly shift their directions. So the lightning will kill you if you let it hit you. If you're in the water when the lightning strikes, it'll kill you. And, oh, there's all these other enemies you have to worry about at the same time. A really hard stage to optimize. And in the speedrun, you actually do most of it with one Kong, because there's a lot of damage boosting you end up doing. So Raikou, I expect him to take this fairly slow to make sure he doesn't take any stupid deaths. Going fast is one of the easiest ways you can die for no good reason in this level. I think I died like 9 or 10 times in my run earlier today. The thing that's the most painful is the lightning is sometimes aiming for where you are and sometimes aiming for where it thinks you will be. It is semi-random, I think is the best way to put it. Sometimes it tracks you, sometimes it tries to predict where you are. That was a very nice clip. Those two beetles are placed so if you roll into one, you'll take a hit from the other if you don't jump out. Very nicely done by Raikou. So into Coin Dozer Clamber. This is a level that can give people fits if you aren't really precise with your controls. Really promotes technical play as the second to last stage of the game. It really should, honestly. It is entirely possible to just clip through a couple of these coin dozers. Ooh, Cal getting sniped by Barbos. Honestly, that's entirely justified. It happens to everyone a couple times, I'm going to be honest. Raikou, meanwhile, blazing through. I believe he's still on PB pace here. Just hopping over these last three. So going on to Poisonous Pipeline, for those who aren't aware, the gimmick of this is that when you're in the water, your L and R buttons on the D-pad are flipped. So if you're playing on emulator, this is fine, you just remap. So Cal getting up, it looks like he may have found that sweet spot. Ooh, no, he's a little low, he needs to get... That's where he needs to be. Think he's got it? That was 3, yes, very well done by Cal. Raikou taking the bonus in order to get on guard. A little bit slower, I think, but still gets the fish all the same. So that's 3 bonuses entered by Raikou Rider, I believe. 2 or 3. Because he hit the bonus in 3-1, and he hit the bonus in 3-5 as well. So that's the 3rd bonus he's hit this run. And he is still just flying through this stage. No regard for those clownfish. And through the last one, so Raikou Rider will be on to the final boss rather shortly. So this final boss fight is fought almost exclusively with Dixie. You need Kitty for this team throw right here. Cal looks like has a little bit of technical trouble. We'll keep you posted on that. So now we have Baron K. Wollenstein. A lot of really impressive helicopter spins. Just going to save a bunch of time here for Raikou if he nails these. As we do have Cal back, he is in Creepy Caverns. Definitely creepy disconnect. Probably just the cold possibly getting to him. We'll see how things go. Raikou getting ready for a second hit on K. Rool in this phase. And getting ready for the first electrified barrel phase. Gets that. So now he's just going to hit here and let go of the barrel so he can get those really quick hits on K. Rool. Very well done. So really precise positioning on that platform to get it. Then another trick that he's got to do now. A very slow helicopter spin to land on this platform. Got it. And that saves the cycle of having to go back and forth on the moving platform. And very nicely done by Raikou into the final phase of this fight. Ooh, Cal unfortunately getting sniped by those barrels. It's unfortunate. Raikou, meanwhile, believe that's the last hit he needs on K. Rool. And we have an official SRL time for Raikou Rider, our winner, 53:43. What a time! We'll see if we can't get him in here for a sec as Cal finishes out the rest of this run. Still a really good run from him. Let's give him some credit, but get your GGs in chat for Raikou. What a race! So Cal finishing off Creepy Caverns. He'll be going on the Lightning Lookout shortly. So Cal making his way through Lightning Lookout, still doing pretty well for himself. I mean, this is really a very tough stage. I can't blame him for taking this slow, and he still looks like he's gotta just needs to be a little patient here with these lightning bolts. You can jump here. I believe there's a DK barrel right after this, so survive this, and looks like Raikou may be giving us a bit of a glitch demonstration here. And Cal looks like he should be through. He just needs to get through this last stretch. Having the beetle underwater, that's a new one. Definitely showing us some stuff we haven't seen before. Cal should be good, and oh, he ran into that beetle that I was talking about. Yeah, that beetle, if you try to roll into the first one, you will take a hit to the second one. It is rather unfortunate. But very nicely done by Cal for keeping this up. I know it never feels good to lose a race like this, but props for gutting this out. If nothing else, it's more practice. So Cal is making his way to Coindozer Clamber. Got his way through Lightning Lookout. Only one death, I believe. Still pretty good. So this is going to be a solid time regardless. Still going to be a lot better than mine. And we have Raikou Rider here in chat. 53:43. That's a new PB for you, isn't it?
By quite a bit, actually. 52 seconds.
Wow. Cal just hit the halfway point in Coindozer. He had a little bit of trouble with World 6. He was, for the most part, keeping pace with you. I don't think he had any deaths before World 6. Just movement. It's
welcome
just
to World.
And
welcome
we
to
have
World 6.
Rider here in chat. 53:43. That's a new PB.
I have said this many times, but World 6 is where the game starts to get really hard.
Wow. Cal just hit the halfway point in Coindozer. He had a little bit of trouble
pretty much
with,
just tin can, and
6.
of all
He
things,
was, for the most part,
ropey.
keeping pace with
I
you.
missed that. I missed that boost in my first race, and then I missed it again in this race. I don't know why I've missed that twice in a row now, because that trick is absolutely free.
Yeah, well, you hit, and you also had the, what was that, 3-cycle chaos?
Oh yeah, that too. That too, tin can. I was not happy with tin can at all.
Cal has made his way to Poisonous Pipeline, so should not be too much longer for him.
But just overall, I played about as well as I could.
Yeah, I believe that was Deathless?
Yeah, no deaths.
Yeah, well, you hit, you had the 3, what was that, 3-cycle chaos? Bonus barrel.
The one in Logi was actually intentional.
Cal has made his way to Poisonous Pipeline, so should not be
why
too
did
much
you take
longer
that
for him.
bonus in Logi, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah,
Squawks.
I believe that was Deathless. I'm pretty sure it was Deathless, and you had the 3 bonus barrels.
I'll just take my stream offline. That works a little bit better.
Why did you take that bonus in low G, if you don't mind me asking?
That work any better?
I think so, yes. Cal's making his way to Chaos now. A very clean pipeline for him. So this should be this should still be a pretty respectable time, sub 105. I'm sure he'd do well against several other people in this tournament.
Oh, absolutely. That's not a terrible time. I'm actually gonna see if I can find his time on SRC real quick, because I think that's I think his PB is just barely sub-hour. I'd have to look.
Alright, he's got his first 2 hits on Chaos down, bring out the Baron about now. Like, he's got the skills, let's be honest. This is not some scrub runner who was just tooling around for the sake of tooling around. This guy knows what he's doing, and he's doing it pretty well.
I don't disagree, because I was watching the entire time. He was keeping up. Just it's the last 2 worlds of this game are just brutal. And
yeah, that's definitely a way to put it. Brutal.
And say nothing of World 8. Just no.
The less said about World 8 in any percent, the better. But yeah, how are you feeling about nailing BDB skip first try? That is not as easy as you may it look.
I'm very okay with that. I'm just checking on his PB. Cal's PB is a 59.05.
Okay, so this is still gonna be pretty good for him. Going on to the electric fence phase. Ooh, missed the first one. He threw the barrel a little bit too early, it looks like, but should still be making a pretty good time of it regardless.
Oh yeah, I did goof up the K-roll fight a little bit. I missed the second barrel, which is 6 seconds, but other than that, the fight was clean.
Yeah, I mean, your entire run was just super clean.
I goofed up Barbos too. I don't know why I thought that alignment was good. It was way too low.
You recovered and you didn't die, and ultimately that's the important part. Deaths in boss fights can be terrifying.
And really, it's not about necessarily how good your PB is. It's about how consistently you can get through stages and boss fights. Because if you need to take your time to avoid deaths, do it.
Oh, I 100% agree. That's probably something I should do when I try playing this game. Don't force things.
Especially when you start out, don't rush it. Don't rush it. That's what later runs are for. But I don't really have a ton else to say about this, other than this is gonna be pretty tough to compete against.
Well, we'll be getting Cal in here momentarily. I believe he just has one more hit here.
I'll actually have to retime it, because I think this is this might be a 53, 41, or 42. I'd actually have to watch the VOD.
In any case, kalarse has got done with an official SRL time of 103.57. Get your GGs in chat, people. That was a very good time.
GG. That's pretty close to PB as well, all things considered. I saw the death. I saw Cal's death in Crisscross too. That looked rough. Or not Crisscross. Burn Your Rope.
Yeah. Confused.
They're both vertical cliff levels. Come on.
Yeah, basically. But both these guys, very, very competent runners. Give them both a follow.
So I wonder if maybe we'll see if Cal wants to couple words. Oh, looks like.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to get Cal in here for a quick talk. So Let me bring up the bracket real quick, see what else is going on potentially. Looks like we have a race scheduled for 2 p.m. tomorrow. Betokos and Dumaeus. We also have a pair of matches scheduled on Friday, one at 9 Eastern, the other at 5 p.m. Eastern. And I'm sure we'll have more matches slated for the rest of the days coming up.
We're still very early in group stages. There's a lot of matches to play, yes, but we do have quite a bit of time to get them in. I think I'm going to make it out of this group if I just play every race like this, but...
Yeah, that's definitely something that could get you out of the group if you're putting up 53s on the regular.
Although I can say it's a lot easier to keep up a pace like that for 50 minutes than it is for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the big difference between any percent and 103%. You did manage to miss the bonus in 7-1 at least.
Yeah, I was just fighting muscle memory the whole time. And this tournament's actually supposed to end when work calms down for me, so... Hondo's kinda saying, hey, go run me.
One category at a time, Raikou. One category at a time.
I know. I know, but that'll be for after the tournament. Yeah, just don't run multiple categories of this game at the same time because conflicting muscle memory is terrible.
So a little bit of technical difficulty. We should be getting Callie here. Just there we are. Yeah, thank you for competing. Very well done on that race, even if you weren't able to come out on top.
Just say it. It was a bad run overall. Just say it. I don't mind.
You're about 30 minutes faster than I could have done it, so no, it wasn't that bad a run, man.
You were keeping up.
I mean, to be fair, I was only less than 5 minutes off PB. It's just that some Barbos was not kind enough.
You were playing really, really well until World 6. I was watching.
Yeah.
And World 6 can just do that. It can do it to anyone, let's be honest. But
it's done it to me.
Very well. I hope to see a lot more from you in the future. Because you definitely have the skills, you know what you need to be doing, and it's just going to be a little bit of polish, and you're going to be putting up some really interesting times.
I mean, yeah, I need to just polish some stuff and that, but yeah, I mean, I'm just tilted. I mean, I was happy for that random glitch bug on the first auto scroller, and then just
take us through. Have you ever seen that before? Where
no,
out of the cart?
No, actually no. That was my first time actually doing it.
Yeah, Raikou, I'm not sure if you were able to get a look at it, but he had Kitty in front of the toboggan in 4-2, just running alongside with Dixie in the back.
I have never seen that before. I'll need to go watch that.
But in any case, thank you very much, Cal and Raikou, for the very intense race. Anything you two want to say before we sign off?
Just 52 maybe.
Soon. Well, first of all, GG Raikou. Was a fun race overall, despite me tilted for Bravos not cooperating. Definitely, he didn't cooperate, even though the dying on Burn Your Rope was basically RIP. I definitely forgot where I was. That was what happened on Burn Your Rope.
Thanks, Cal. I was when I got out of. Let me actually go back. When I got out of World 4, I was very nervous for the rest of the run.
Yeah, I mean, my problem. I was actually nervous the whole thing because my PB actually had, for what is my skill, like an insane level until World 6. So it was like, I'm gonna lose time everywhere. I'm gonna lose time everywhere. That was my mindset, like half of the race. I was gonna lose time everywhere, and then I was not caring about like almost entering some bonus or going out of the way, because it was like the last time I played this was like 3 weeks ago. But when I got to, I'm gonna back to Bravos. That hitbox is weird.
Tell me about it. One point of advice I'd like to give you for races, especially if you have a PB that's like that, try setting your comparison to average instead of personal best.
No, actually, for every race, I actually remove the splits.
Oh, you remove the splits altogether. Okay.
I just it would be like I go with my splits, but they are blank. So actually, I don't know the pace.
That makes sense too. But I'd
like for
to,
Manto.
I'd like to see you get some wins. Good luck in the rest of your matches.
Thank you, and same. Also, thank you, Algernon, for the commentary. I'm probably gonna check that later on. I'm gonna remove some Steam and probably check it tomorrow.
Well, today's my RPG challenge day, so I've got to get back to Golden Sun.
Oof, nice game, actually.
Thanks.
Well, thank you to both Cal and Raikou Rider for the match. Thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting this, and thank you to all of you guys for taking some time out of your day in the audience to come watch this. For everyone here at Speed Gaming, we will see you next time.
Peace.